Welcome once again to the latest edition of Shelf Life Book Reviews Online. Thank you for watching my video. If you haven't subscribed to my channels, please do so. If you have book-loving friends, please tell them about my channels that I review the best in books. And I've got a great one here this time out. It is After Death by Dean Koontz. This is published by Thomas and Mercer, and it retails for $38.99. There's no denying Dean Koontz has had great longevity in the writing business. Way back when he first started, I remember reading his books, his earliest books like Demon Seed and Fun House and TikTok, and because back in the 70s I loved horror, and Dean Koontz has sort of graduated from just pure horror to psychological horrors, in the same way Stephen King has changed his style from out and out gross out horror to more intense psychological. And in After Death, this is if you like classic Dean Koontz, classic horror, classic suspense, this book is definitely for you. It revolves around a man by the name of Michael Mace, who works for a laboratory. They do experiments, and suddenly in the laboratory there is an accident where 55 people suddenly die. They're overcome by toxic chemicals and fumes, and they're carried out and they're sent to a makeshift morgue. Now, there are 55 tables with 55 bodies covered in white sheets. And suddenly, one of the sheets sort of raises itself, and the person who was dead, Michael Mace, suddenly is resurrected like Lazarus from the grave. And so who knows why he was chosen, how he got to be the lucky one to come back from the dead, but he does. And there's someone who's aware of it. The man's name is DEAN KOONTZ. And right there, that sounds like a baddie. And he's from the International Security Agency. And he sees the video, and he suddenly sees this sheet rise, and suddenly it's flat where a body was. So he knows Michael Mace has returned from the dead for whatever reason. So DEAN KOONTZ is like a hitman assassin. He goes and kills people without conscience. He doesn't care who he kills, who he has to kill, and why he kills. And the method he kills, hey, whatever suits him at the time. But let's just say he's as bad as they come. He's a classic villain, one of Dean Koontz's best villains, because he just keeps on coming, and he's relentless. He wants to make sure Michael Mace dies a second time and does not return from the dead like he just did. Now, there's another character. Her name is Nina Dozier, and she worked with Shelby Shrewsbury, who worked at the same organization where the 55 bodies were. Now, Michael knows her. She has a son, John, who he was born 13 years ago. Her husband, Aleem Suter, was the father, and he just suddenly abandoned the child. But Aleem Suter is bad news. Maybe not quite as bad as DEAN KOONTZ, but he's not a good man. He's a gangbanger, and he does not take prisoners. He and his group, call them assassins or whatever you want to call them, they are on the trail of Nina Dozier, and he wants to reclaim John and transform him into an evil gangbanger just like he is. So Nina Dozier and John are on the run, and Michael Mace helps them escape. He gets a huge sum of money, almost millions of dollars, and makes sure they get away, but it's not easy. So now Michael Mace has to contend with Aleem Suter, going after Nina Dozier and her son John, and with DEAN KOONTZ. And DEAN KOONTZ meets a lot of people along the way trying to find where Michael Mace is, and he kills them. He doesn't care. They're just cheap fodder to him. So really, there's something going on at every turn. This book is just under 400 pages, And in classic Dean Koontz style, he really gives us a thrill ride. It's like a roller coaster of a book. There's ups and downs and all arounds. So if you like a great suspenseful book and you like Dean Koontz, this is definitely a book you must add to your collection. If you haven't read a Dean Koontz book, shame on you. I don't know, I haven't counted how many books, but I think he must have at least 75 because he's been writing since the 70s. So 5 decades full of great work, and he's still as great as that first book that he put out back around 1975, 1976. So go after Death and look for it at your local bookstore. You will not be disappointed. Let me know if you do buy it and if you do agree with my review, which I'm sure you will. So thank you for watching. We'll be back with another book very soon. Currently I'm reading Stephen King's latest Holly, so a review will be ready very shortly with that book when I finish it. So until we meet again, stay safe, stay sane, stay in touch, and I will see you at the bookstore. Bye for now.